Hello. So I'm back with the book here, The Circadian Diabetes Code by Dr. Sachin Panda. It's a very informative book, and I have been reading this, and I feel that every bit of it is very important for us. See, as he says, how the book works, and he says it gives you the information, it gives you the reasons. The book serves three purposes. It is a source of essential knowledge about the new science of circadian rhythm and how it relates to controlling blood sugar. It provides an integrated practice for both intermittent fasting and optimizing your entire circadian rhythm within your lifestyle. And it shares the experiences of all different kinds of people who practice intermittent fasting and relates how they tackled the challenges to ultimately improve their diabetes. So, this is specifically about diabetes. He had earlier written another book called The Circadian Code. This is for the diabetics. He specifically pointed out the things that a diabetic should do and should focus on. So this is all about intermittent fasting, but the intermittent fasting that I knew was different from what he is speaking about. I used to skip my breakfast. That is how I extended my fasting period. I would have my dinner at maybe 7 o'clock and then have my lunch at 12 o'clock. So that there was a big gap of 15 hours where I went without food. But from reading the circadian diabetes code, I understand that the best thing is to extend your fast throughout the night and then into the day. So now I start my last meal at around 5 o'clock and then have my breakfast after 8:30. So there is more than 14 hours of gap between my meals, and there is a 14-hour long fast. But much of the fast is during sleeping hours or resting hours. So when the body is winding down and uh, our sleep hormones are being produced, I am fasting. So about 5 hours after I eat my last meal, according to him. So 5 hours after I eat my last meal means around 10 o'clock, my body would have digested most of it. I go to bed now early at 10 because because of my yoga practitioner instructing us to go to bed early, and also because he also says you should have a regular sleep schedule as much as possible and go to bed early and have 7 hours of sleep. I never ever had 7 hours of sleep, and I used to sleep in the afternoon instead. So now also I sleep in the afternoon, but a short nap. So that is the change I have brought into my intermittent fasting. I had given up intermittent fasting also recently. Then another thing that he made me aware of is that I looked at intermittent fasting as a method for keeping down my blood sugar. So, what I thought was if I eat my dinner at 7 o'clock and do not eat anything, do not eat by 10 o'clock, my blood sugar would not be as high as it usually was. See, when I was on insulin, my bedtime sugar was 247 or somewhere around that. And I would take my insulin then, and the insulin would bring it down during the night, and in the morning my blood sugar used to be around 70. So now this eating early would bring my blood sugar down to about 100 or 100, not 100, 160 to 170 when I would go to bed. But in 2 hours, even when I ate at 7 o'clock, in 2 hours my blood sugar would be 240. Then what I used to do is I would go up and down our staircase. This has around 40, 41 stairs, and I do it around 4 times. And then my sugar would drop by minimum 60 points within 10 or 15 minutes. So that is what I used to do to bring down my blood sugar in the evening. Morning was not a problem if I did not eat any high carb food, and lunch was never a problem because I was using our red rice, red or pink rice. That rice has a reddish tinge. It is a colored rice, what pigmented rice that is being used by everybody here in Kerala, and that rice is parboiled. The before we buy it, the before even it is milled, the paddy is boiled once or twice. Sometimes, if you want the twice boiled rice, you can get the twice boiled rice. It takes longer in cooking and it has lots of resistant starch in it. It never spikes my blood sugar like a basmati rice does. Basmati is supposed to be low GI, but not as low GI as the red rice that we generally use. So, afternoon, eve, I would have my lunch around 12 o'clock. My rice portion would be 2 tablespoons, accompanied by 2 to 3 tablespoons of vegetables and some chicken or fish and a dal curry or dal or something. Some curry would be there to moisten the rice. And after this, I regularly have one chocobar, Amul Choco probiotic chocobar, and after 2 hours, my blood sugar would be 158. This is a diabetic range, it should be below 140. But I considered this okay because I am not on any kind of medication. So that is what I was doing. And at night, I would have my dinner before 7 o'clock, sometimes 6. If I could, I would have at 6, 6:30 to 7. And after that, when my blood sugar was down to about 160, I would be in bed and I would be reading. And then my husband would come in. He would bring an orange or some fruit which he used to have before bed. He is not diabetic. He doesn't have any sorts of problem. His father was also not a diabetic, and he also was a very healthy person. And my husband goes to bed, sleeps by 10 o'clock without fail, and wakes up at 5:30 or 6. That my father-in-law, who lived up to 97, would eat all sorts of things, including lots of butter, sugar, bread, etc. He lived up to 97. He would go to bed by 9 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, he would be fast asleep. He would wake up at 4:30 or 5. Then he would have something. Then later on, he would do yoga, prayers, everything. He had a very systematic life. And he was a very healthy man until he became very old and fell down and fractured his hip. So then about my intermittent fasting, then I would be in bed and my blood sugar would be around 158 or 160, and I would think, now I'm okay. Then my husband would come in, bring an orange and ask me, do you want some? And the smell would tempt me to have just two segments of an orange. And now by reading this, I would think, see, this is not going to spike my blood sugar. But now I understand from reading the circadian diabetes code that this two orange is capable of shifting my body from resting to digesting state. So the body understands that my digestions and my demands on my digestive system will not stop until 10 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 9:30 in the night. And so the body is always aware or ready and alert up to that time. And my sleep hormone would be rising and my pancreas would have shut down. So these two oranges could have spiked my blood sugar. Even if it did not spike my blood sugar, what it would do is it would cause my digestive system to be at work for another 5 hours. And then I will get up in the morning and have my breakfast sometimes at 8 or 8:30. And by that time, the earlier processes would not have wound down sufficiently for my digestive system and the rest of the body to undergo the repair and rejuvenation that it has to undergo every night for us to keep fit. This is what I understood by reading his book. That in order to for our body is working all the time, and our digestive system is working throughout the day. Once you eat, it takes 5 hours to digest, and then a few more hours for assimilation and blood glucose and things and nutrition being distributed. And after that only our body will repair itself. Has to repair the gut lining, which is always being harmed by the digestive processes, and the cells have to be renewed. Even that will not be done if we keep on eating, and that will contribute to an imbalanced gut bacteria. It will contribute to all sorts of diseases, including high cholesterol, fatty liver, and diabetes. And diabetes has a genetic cause, and those genes are turned on by this kind of lifestyle. So I have been going on and on. So let me read from something from the book. So about diabetes, what he says is, see, this book doesn't is copyright is such that he says that we have to acknowledge him when we quote from his book or use his material. And uh, what it says is, Dr. Sachin Panda has asserted his right to be identified as the author of this work in accordance with Copyright Design and Patents Act 1988. So I am acknowledging his uh, authorship of this work, his studies, and his experiments, and I really honor this person who has contributed so much to my well being, along with Saurabh Botra. Now it is time, so let us clock control your blood sugar. Now it is time to try this experiment together. You can be in complete control of your blood sugar by living in alignment with your circadian rhythm. Not only is it easy, but also every aspect of your health will get better. In this book, you will learn when to eat, when to exercise, when to sleep, when to work, and when to take your medications if necessary. If this program sounds simple, that is because it is. Your doctor may tell you to eat less, exercise more, and stay away from sugar and carbohydrates. There is sufficient research to substantiate these recommendations. However, the problem is in the compliance. Experts know that to follow these recommendations, you have to count calories for every meal you eat, track and avoid the foods that are known to raise your blood sugar, and count how many miles you walk or run. If you can do this, great. Many people with pre-diabetes or diabetes begin this type of program and see some benefits within a month or two. But more often than not, the regimen becomes too difficult to sustain for a long time. Even though these are good habits to form, they are too arduous. This is where my research on circadian rhythm and time restricted eating is opening new avenues for treating diabetes. Research on circadian rhythm has shown that blood glucose regulation is more complex than we had known before. When we eat, when we exercise, and how much or when we sleep have a big impact on our blood glucose. By following this program, you may achieve your goals without counting a single calorie. In addition, you will learn that intermittent fasting, that is time restricted eating, has numerous other benefits on various organ systems, immune system, the brain, including weight loss. When it is practiced over a few months, you can retrain your liver and fat tissues to break down unwanted fat and cholesterol. In preclinical studies, we have found a clear sign of reduction in the risk for heart disease. These findings are very important because someone with diabetes has the same risk for heart disease or heart attack as a non diabetic person who has already had one heart attack. We also have found that intermittent fasting improves kidney function. One common diabetes complication is chronic kidney disease and kidney failure. And by losing weight and enhancing immunity, you are doing the two best things possible for avoiding COVID 19 complications. This was written during the COVID period, I think. Even now, COVID is still there, and there are also a lot of sudden deaths. So this was published in 2021. Now it is 2024. I was late in recognizing this book. So how this book works, I have already said. Then understanding diabetes and a circadian code, I will summarize and tell you in my next video. I hope this will benefit all of you. I hope this benefits you as it does me. And I have some hope now that I can manage my blood glucose without medication even in the future. I was really getting scared that I will have to go on medication. And as I'm aging and as my responsibilities, some responsibilities have increased now, it is not as easy as before to have regular work help and all such things. So I thought maybe I will not be able to continue being avoiding medicines. I had started an Ayurvedic medicine, but I had stopped that also. So I thought I will not be able to manage. But now I have some hope that I will be able to manage. And those with on medications can also manage with their doctors consultation on less medications, or even reverse to such an extent that they need only one medication. So that is my hope. My hope is that I will continue in this way, and I will be able to bring my HbA1c to 6. So what I am planning to do, I have forgotten something. There is also a website and an app called My Circadian Clock. And if you that is meant for I have that app on my iPad. I'm searching for my iPad. So that this mycircadian.org is meant for smartphones. And if you download that app, I will put the link in the description box of this video. If you download that app, you can upload whatever you eat and drink and whatever exercise you do, your activities, your vitals, your measurements, everything into that app. And daily, you can just snap a photo of what you're going to eat. If you put your plate before you, take a photo and upload it and write what are the contents. And after 15 days, you can even upload your blood sugar, you can upload the lab results, everything, whatever you have available, and you can upload all your meals and snacks and things like that. And whatever you have uploaded, they will after 15 days, they will assess all this and give you a report on where you have what you are doing, where you have gone wrong, etc., etc. So I am now on my third day. After 15 days, what I plan to do is to go and do an HbA1c, cholesterol, everything. And according to Dr. Panda, I am a diabetic who has been I am a diabetic who has been diabetic for over 20 years. It may take 6 months to see drastic change, and it may be a lifestyle that I have to follow throughout my life. I can vary the diet if there is a social compulsion for 1 or 2 days, one day or another, not 2 consecutive days, one day or so. I can go out of this circadian rhythm, and that will reflect on the next day's health. But you can come back to it by again going back on the circadian rhythm. So this is all that I have to say for now. I will continue. See, I cannot just summarize it in one video, because there are lots of information. There is lots of information in this. There are lots of things that we ought to know about diabetes and about the circadian rhythm. What we are learning is not about some rhythm outside ourselves. It is about what is going on inside our body and how we are intimately connected with the earth and with the sun and with the universe. How we are not an independent entity which can exist apart from what is around us. So we are linked to what is around us, and we have to be in harmony with the system of the solar system, the sun rising and the sun setting, because our body has been manufactured in that way. We have seen that plants do that. They sleep, some leaves sleep at night. So in the same way, the same thing goes on inside our body. The intricate details of all this, I will come back and tell you as soon as I am able to uh, summarize all those things. So please stay tuned. Understand your own self, your body. This will help. This is not just for diabetics. This kind of eating will help to prevent diseases and also to keep you healthy. If there is diabetes in the family, you can, by following a circadian rhythm, circadian clock in your body, you can avoid all this, because as he says, he has explained how certain genes make us prone to diabetes, but they are turned on by this wrong lifestyle. That is why it is called a lifestyle disease. So let me stop now. I'll go on and on because I'm so enthusiastic about this subject. So namaste. Have a healthy, wonderful week. Thank you.